Hello to anyone who is here. I think it might just be John. We're gonna go back into Vampyr. Let me get my hair up out of my face. So last time we got a couple things done. We went and did some side questing type stuff. We went and brought an end to the blackmail plot against Lady Ashbury, which wound up being hatched by Dorothy Crane, the nurse back at Pembroke, who we have forced to resign. And then we did just a little bit of like wandering. So hopefully today we can get a little bit more substantial stuff done. I think we logged out right in the hospital, so we should be able to go straight over and talk to Dr. Swansea. I believe that's where we're headed. So learned a little bit about ourselves. We did get confirmation that we're a vampire, a special type of vampire. Apparently we were referred to as an econ by Lady Ashbury, and kind of clucked her tongue at us for thinking that perhaps we and the Skulls were the same type of creature. Before we leave our hideout here, so we already upgraded the cudgel. We definitely don't have the materials to do anything else with that. Let's see what we've got for potential. Hi, Afterlife. I figured you were in the chat. My software lags, so I don't actually see a real-time viewer count. I just have to kind of go by whenever it does frequently or infrequently update. So here in Pembroke, we've still got the one case of headache with Oswald. He's the guy we saved from the sewer. But we can't cure headaches yet. We don't know how to do that. Still haven't gone over and actually talked to Enid. It's the old man that we saved over at the docks, so we don't know what's wrong with him, so can't preventatively get that cured up. I don't think we are going to eat the gangster guy. I think we're going to try and wait on eating anyone as long as we can. If we do wind up eating people, Clay is certainly on the menu. A couple others that I would not mind taking a nibble on, if I'm being honest. Not in love with, I believe Enid is the guy that we saved, which is the, we had to train up and basically find a whole new fighting style to kill those Skulls that were fighting him. Hi, Julie Fish. Albert rather has fatigue. He's the fatigue we're already carrying. We actually have a pretty easy way to go find him next time we're over in Whitechapel. And then, who knows, maybe we'll make it to the West End. There's like an entire new group of people we know nothing about. I would like to find some time over in Whitechapel to meet some of these other question marks, because that kind of burnt us last time. We didn't wind up learning all the clues and actually missed out on an entire potential quest-ending branch for how to handle Dorothy's little renegade clinic. But let's go in and talk to Dr. Swansea. We're talking to him about Razvan's blood. So this was the guy, is it in my, I don't know if it's in here. This was the guy, he was the patient. Yeah, it's not in here. The patient at her, I agree, missing the hint stuff sucked. It was a real bummer. The patient she was treating that she wound up calling us in to assist on, we analyzed his blood and saw that he had the flu, but also showed some of the blood markers from the skull that we investigated. Super deads. So as a result, we now kind of have this suspicion that perhaps there are two pandemics plaguing the streets of London. Let's see what Dr. Swansea has to say about it.
Evening, Edgar. Could I get your professional opinion?
Please speak, but I have something important to tell you.
I'm not really a doctor.
This strain of flu, it's very different from the one I saw in Europe.
Yeah, we leveled up. We finally did some sleeping.
Really? What makes you say that?
Symptoms were different in France. It's so obvious. We don't have to be rude. I analyzed the blood.
I've just looked at the blood of one of our recently deceased.
I see. Do you have anything more to go on?
This disease spreads and looks like the Spanish flu, but its effects differ greatly. The London strain is different from the continental one.
This is very interesting. Did you find something else?
you know, I mean, yes, I have found something else and I'm going to tell you about it. However, for a gentleman who's running a hospital and thinks he's been dealing with Spanish flu, and now a blood doctor of some renown that you have already gushed over tells you it's not the standard Spanish flu, you'd think maybe a bigger reaction than just like, oh, interesting.
Yes. Unlike the flu, the infected begin to show an increase in outwardly aggressive behavior.
Ooh, perhaps
than
it's not the
simple
English flu or the
agitation.
Spanish flu at all. It's the
Once
Swansean
docile
flu.
people become
It's a good theory.
violent.
You mean like rabies? Is there a chance we could create a vaccine, Jonathan, like Pasteur? By the stove, that would be smashing.
There's a lot we're not seeing here.
So this guy's like a
But it
celebrity
is
doctor.
spreading, and quickly. If we don't act, the whole city could be lost.
But Jonathan, we've a fantastic opportunity sitting right here in front of us. A weapon of choice.
What on earth
He's
do you
probably
mean?
still better than Dr. Us.
Why, you, my dear boy. With your expertise and your blood, we could isolate the properties that course through your veins. Think about
The old my blood
possibilities.
is the secret. I mean, I feel like perhaps preaching some caution on this, but I mean, I've thought about
admit
it.
It did occur to me. Blood seems to be the common factor in all of this.
When you're a blood doctor, everything's solved with
totally
blood
agree.
medicine. It's just how it
We're
goes.
in uncharted territory here. Maybe it's just wishful thinking, but imagine the possibilities.
We'll discuss this more later. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Jonathan. But
Exactly.
As I said, I needed to talk to you.
Oh, tell me, what's up?
I have some rather bad news.
I
Yes.
burnt the casserole.
I'm afraid it's your sister.
My
Uh-oh.
sister.
She's to be buried this evening at Whitechapel Cemetery.
Ooh.
Your mother published the obituary this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. Please accept my condolences.
It's a big ouch. The eye was in the tomb. I have just informed Edgar Swansea that Nurse Crane will not be working at the Pembroke Hospital anymore. I also informed him of what I found in Whitechapel. Razvan Vasily, the patient I was unable to save in Nurse Crane's illegal dispensary, was not only infected by the Spanish flu, but also had the highly unstable blood of the Skalls. Could the London vampire epidemic be transmitted through the flu? It is now a plausible hypothesis. Unfortunately, this news is no match for what Edgar just told me. My sister Mary is to be buried at the Stonebridge Cemetery. I feel compelled to go there for the ceremony, and at the same time, I'm terrified to stand in front of the grave of my first victim as a vampire. It's a big oof. Alright. So, before we go, it looks like our new quest is to go and attend the funeral. Let's take a quick peek. Here in Pembroke, we've done all but 2 of the investigations. So the 2 we've got left, we've got Missing Ingredient, which is the guy who's injured and the 2 doctors are fighting over whether to use traditional or experimental medicine. And then we've got The Harder They Fall, which was... Oh, the body in the morgue. We found the body in the morgue that had apparently been autopsied by both Tippett and Brannigan. But the write-up for the body was completely nonsensical. So let's check in with these guys since they're right here in the hotel. I still don't entirely know how we... Yeah, so like... They don't tell me really what to do. They just tell me that there is something that can be done. So then what is this? A custom marker that's outside the boundaries of the game map. we won't be needing that one. Let's go talk to the patient again. I need to add the first playthrough. Are you talking the first night we played before we started recording?
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reid. Any news about my operation?
No, the witch tag. woman who thinks she's a vampire? Oh, the Twitch tag. Oh, I could. That's not a terrible idea. Hang on. Am I updated in real time? There we go. All right, so I don't know if we've got anything new. Thank you, Afterlife. So we do have one new clue with him. Maybe we can finally get a little nugget of info out of him that'll let us kind of lean on the two doctors.
You seem worried about the safety of your family. And it's obviously the reason why your wound troubles you so much.
I cannot give up on my children now. They both need me living.
What about their mother, if I may ask?
She died in 1915 during one of the first Zeppelin raids. We never found her body.
We already knew that, though. So what was that clue supposed to actually do for us?
Else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
I'm all right. Considering the state of this place, I should consider myself lucky, I guess.
Yeah,
Goodbye
so
for
still
now, Mr.
no
Fick.
new
I'll see
ground
you
with
later.
him.
You always knew the words to
He, I
calm the
believe,
children
had
down.
given us a quest to lay flowers near where his wife had passed, if I'm remembering that correctly. Oh no, that was Dyson. That's why he drinks himself to death, is because of his dying wife.
As for me,
Oh, so they both kind of have very similar backstories. All right.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reid.
Yeah, nothing new for you. Ah, no, here we go.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Yeah, so that wasn't new too.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
Oh, maybe this is us finally being able to press it forward. Yeah, look, I'm all for Thoreau's like desire to really go above and beyond, but I'm worried that it's going to leave this dude completely unable to do his job.
If you are going to lead this surgery, I'm trusting you to assume the consequences of your actions, whatever the result.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reid. There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
Seems like an odd way to push on him, considering that we are the least tenured member of the staff. What's going on with this guy over here? Whatever disease he has is making him stick right through his pillow. It's probably not very comfortable.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
This guy might be the most legit doctor in the entire hospital. I feel bad that we are kind of constantly poking and prodding
Thank you for your time.
antagonistically at
We'll
him.
talk later.
All right, so let's go find Strickland.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reid. Can I be of any help?
Oh, we haven't talked to him since we went to go search out his medicine.
Tell me, Thoreau, what's the real cause of your dislike for Dr. Ackroyd?
He refuses to admit that your blood transfusion technique.
I
is the
agree. I
only
think it's
way
going to ultimately
save
be
Mr. Fiddick.
one of them
I'm
via my
convinced we must
choice.
use it.
What Dr. Ackroyd really said is that you lack the skill to perform this operation efficiently. Is there anything you have to say about this?
It's a false conceit. Dr. Ackroyd secretly envies your reputation. His jealousy blinds him. I'm not the real target here.
So when we went and found the list of stuff that Homeboy had been looking for, it became pretty clear that he's only really theorized about some of these treatments he's cooked up, and none of it really has any kind of foundation in procedures he's conducted. So I'm worried about letting him do it.
And the owner is missing. All I found was your order.
I was afraid of such bad news. People are so desperate they're ready to burgle a shop for drugs.
That's quite a list you ordered. Opium, sodium hypochlorite. It can't be just headaches you're trying to cure.
This dreadful influenza, of course. I already ran some tests on hopeless cases. Without success, I must admit.
Do you realize you could create a lethal poison without the correct dosage? Then there are the legal ramifications.
Is this not true of any medical substance, Dr. Reid? However, if you would agree to improve it, I'd be glad to accept your help.
As long as you promise to be scrupulous with your experiments.
Bless
I may
you.
try to gather these substances and even help improve upon the mixture.
That's all I'm asking for, Dr. Reid. That's all I'm asking.
I want to know about these secret tests you run, and if they can save people from this epidemic. Speak to me now, Thoreau.
I know I may sound presumptuous, but I'm just following your steps, Dr. Reid. I'm casting away the shadows of ignorance by daring to face them.
Self-confidence is essential in our line of work, my young colleague, but only if tempered with the correct amount of cynicism.
But you never doubt yourself, Dr. Reid. I've read all your articles and books. You performed the most daring research during the war.
This is so tough. I like that this guy's kind of a go-getter, but man, playing with folks' lives for unproven medicine does not seem like, okay, cool, you get some bullet points to put into your journal, but like, this guy loses the use of his arm and can't provide for his kids.
Don't you think we have enough work already? Perhaps now is not the best time to be chasing shadows.
Chasing shadows, really? It's funny those words coming from the only doctor here who has spent more time outside this hospital than in.
Ooh, sick burn, dude.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Gather the
I can't let
ingredients and
Strickland
formulate
put
the
his
medication.
patients at risk with opium. Perhaps an adjusted formula will deliver more of a placebo effect.
Oh, interesting. So we're going to concoct a false version of whatever it is he's been trying to bake up. I think we should have all the ingredients for it. Oh, is this not my medical desk? That's my workbench. Can I do that over here? Yeah.
Strickland's project could be dangerous. I have a mind to report him to Dr. Ackroyd.
Choose what to do about Thoreau Strickland. Bring the medication to Thoreau or report Thoreau to Dr. Ackroyd. So, this gets interesting, right? So like we can go talk to Thoreau or however Dr. Reid just said his name and give him the placebo, and then we know his crazy concoction isn't going to do anything bonkers. But if he's relying on that as the curative agent, we could basically be condemning this gentleman to an inoperable arm. However, if we go talk to Ackroyd, we're just selling Thoreau up the river.
They belong to you now.
Ackroyd is not the hospital leader. Ackroyd's the other doctor, the one that, I mean, I gotta say, like, Ackroyd's the doctor that kind of gives me the most big doctor energy.
Right to disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize when you're feeling better.
Ooh. I don't like the tone he's taking with this dude either. All right, I think that just sealed it. Yo, Aki.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reid.
I know, we all are. Hang on, here we go.
I know that you're a busy man, but I could use your help and advice.
The great Dr. Reid honors me with a request. What is it exactly?
Dr. Strickland
You don't have to be a
devised an
dick.
experimental drug for the Spanish flu that he asked me to manufacture.
You know what I think of fringe medical experimentation?
That's exactly why I want you to keep the result, Doctor. I made sure it won't harm anyone, but I'd like you to take care of it.
I see. Put it in my cabinet. I'll give you the key. I'll make sure no one uses this medication by mistake.
I'll do that. Thank you for your help, Dr. Ackroyd.
Thank you for your trust on the matter, Dr. Reid.
So I think that's the office upstairs that's right next to ours.
Do you think Dr. Strickland has any chance of curing the Spanish flu by himself?
His wish to cure the sick is not driven by pride, but by an idealistic view about our mission here. Honestly, I don't know which is worse.
You consider him a good practitioner, yet you will not report his methods.
Strickland may be a rival, but I will not use dirty tricks or regulations to prove him wrong. We are doctors, not politicians.
This Ackroyd guy goes hard. All right, so let's go check out his office. Because, I
Thank you
mean,
for your
let's
time.
be honest, while we're in there dropping off the medicine, I'm gonna snoop. And that might finally get us the last little chunk of info we need. God. One of these days, I'm gonna actually learn the layout of the hospital. I was hoping we'd be able to go in this room. This was like another one of those doors that's just always locked and taunting. Let me in! Man, you guys don't even have a
all right.
bed. Your office sucks. Anything?
It's locked. It's locked, all right.
M. Goswick's medical file. Patient, Mortimer Goswick, male, age 23. This is the guy downstairs that's having trouble talking. Followed by Dr. Ackroyd. Status, convalescence. Date of admission, 27th October. Date of release, to be determined. Notes. The patient shows many signs of extreme fatigue and major sores on the throat, mouth, and tongue, but no signs of flu. Refuses to speak, claims it is too painful. Needs rest and healing of throat mucous membrane before any decision can be made concerning his release. He is not inflicted with the flu. The first clue we've gotten about him. Alright, so you gave me a key.
It's locked.
What? That was just to get in here, and now what? Where do I put your medicine? Letter to Dr. Swansea. Pembroke Hospital, 14th October. Dear Dr. Swansea, despite the actual urgency of the sanitary situation, I must inform you of a recent case of personal misconduct inside the Pembroke. Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan has been found guilty of undeniable, unprofessional conduct, and thus guilty of endangering a patient. Under no circumstances should a nurse diagnose and establish a prescription without at least informing the referent doctor about her conclusion. You know me, Edgar. I'm not against personal initiative when it is in the interest of all, especially during a case like the one we are facing. But we can't allow a nurse to perform a diagnosis and decide on a procedure to apply to a patient. The fact that said patient survived is no attenuating circumstance. It just means we dodged the bullet this time. I demand the strictest authority on this matter. Very respectfully, Dr. Waverly Ackroyd. So Brannigan has been suspected of neglecting her professional duties. We kind of knew that, right? Like the
locked, all right.
Info we got from Tippett's very much already indicated it to be the case. This is the
Now
cabinet.
that Dr. Ackroyd has been warned, he should make good use of this formula.
Oh, so that was it? We didn't even have to actually figure out what to do about the patient. It was just about mixing up some medicine, apparently. Interesting. Well, hopefully now that the investigation's done, next time we have a time skip, we'll find out what happened to the guy with the injury. So the only other one here in Pembroke is this one regarding the body we found in the morgue. So I think, yeah, this looks like it's pointing me back to the morgue, so we might have to go in.
To attend my murdered sister's funeral.
I don't know that. I don't think it is a case of not the arm guy though, because if you look, like their social circles is all the three of them. And what we've seen thus far is that most often that means that their quests are all intertwined. So maybe there's a separate thing regarding the arm guy.
I'll find the truth about what happened to...
Jonathan is waxing poetic about his dead sister, and I'm like, no, dude, just get in the morgue. Come on. Come on. So I'm assuming this has respawned. It's been quite a bit since we were in here. Ooh. Looks like all the loot has respawned as well. So it wants me to find out the cause of death, and we did not do that when we were here. We just found out that it was something was wrong, essentially. Oh, sneaky. You were in the shadows. All right. We are massively more leveled than we were previously, but I guess that's no reason to be completely careless. Whoop. I didn't even know you were there. These guys sneaking up out of everywhere. There's another one behind me, I think. Yeah. Alright. So, this should be quite a bit quicker because we won't have the boss in the final room. Well, presumably. I don't think bosses come back. Yeah, this looks like just two dudes. Hi, friendos. So what, did you just walk through my ultimate? It just didn't touch you? That was interesting. Oh, have you not seen us use our ultimate yet, Afterlife? Yeah, he turns... Oh, no. Oh, that's not exactly the spot I was supposed to be at anyway. That was... Right, I had to jump up. I don't think this is actually the room, though. I think it was off to the side. We turn into a beast and can teleport around. So kind of, we leaned into the claw ability from the beginning of the game. And now when we use our ultimate, we just like night crawler around the entire room and slash at everybody who's in arm's reach. Whoop. Man, they are not as concerning now that we have so many extra levels. Yeah, we gotta go back here to find that body. Yeah, okay. Oh, so we just needed to reinvestigate it. Okay.
Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? The chest was originally open to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error.
Uh-oh. Alright, so this is the guy, Nurse Brannigan.
It's locked.
It's a locked chest. There's one of these locked chests kind of attached to everyone's quarters, I guess is the best way to put it, like their private area. So I wonder if that's something that you can only get at if you consume them. Wait, is this back here? Where are the stairs at? So Brannigan had told us that Tippett was making mistakes. He was pushing himself too hard. He wasn't sleeping. And it would appear that as a result of him kind of burning the candle at both ends, he's maybe goofed up and caused that dude to die. And obviously that'll have to be rectified. He's out front. Yeah. He's normally out walking around in the tents area. So we'll go swing around there. And then essentially all of Pembroke's square for the time being. We don't have any outstanding concerns surrounding medical issues. So we'll advance. Probably go swing out and attend our sister's funeral just to kind of get that squared away. I don't really think there's instances. One of the things that I've been really concerned about as we play is that I'm gonna be forced to progress to the next day and essentially like lose an opportunity to go around. Oh, hey, funny seeing you here, bud. I don't think they're gonna do that to me. I think we always kind of get control over when we sleep.
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's the blunt truth.
What was the nature of the mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
Who was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks, maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk with him. No one claimed the body.
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it won't happen again. I have saved so many lives since then.
Nurse Brannigan has been recently accused of neglecting her professional duties. Tell me what you really think about it.
This kind of protest is nothing but elitist bullshit. I trust Nurse Brannigan with my life. She has what it takes to be a great doctor.
Do you really think she could be the next Elizabeth Blackwell?
Believe me, Dr. Reid, a time will come when skill and skill alone will determine who can be a physician and who cannot.
Oh, Corcoran. If only that were true all the time. So was that the end of it? Just, he was like, oh, I got to talk to Brannigan about it. So that'll probably yield me enough hints that I can go back and talk to Corcoran. Who's over here? Lady Ashbury over here? Yeah, we don't really have anything else to investigate with her just yet. Where's Brannigan? Nurse! Oh, I thought she was putting on deodorant when I walked up. That was weird. She had that look you get when you're like getting ready to...
Good evening, Doctor.
Tell me first about your
According
misconduct.
to the report I read,
She's not even looking me in the eye. I don't know if I can trust
put
her.
a patient in danger, Gwyneth.
That's not true. I know when my patient's life is at risk, and I'm more competent than a lot of doctors that I know. Problem is, I'm a woman.
I don't see what your gender has to do with your abilities, nurse.
Yes, nurse. Because I'll never be a doctor, no matter what my skills. I could make a decision that could save a life, but oh no, that's unbecoming conduct.
Ooh. I mean, look. Yeah, let's be
Have you
serious.
heard of Elizabeth Blackwell? She was the first woman listed on the UK medical register. Change is slow, but it will come. And you will always have my support.
To have the right to study shouldn't be determined by sex, skin, or wealth. That's all I'm saying.
Preach, Brannigan. All right, now tell me about how Tippett's screwed up.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett's did. I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reid. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippett's in our situation?
You took a great risk.
Perhaps you did it with the best intentions, Nurse Brannigan, but you took a great risk. Must I remind you that a man died?
You mean you've never made a mistake? Never covered your tracks? Come on, Doctor. I wasn't born yesterday.
Yo, she doesn't mess around. Can we go back
Goodbye,
to
nurse.
Tippett's before
Call
we
me
make a
if you need
judgment call on
assistance.
that? Choose what to do with Dr. Tippett's. Cover for him in exchange for his resignation, or trust Gwyneth. Look, I don't think this hospital can afford to keep being understaffed,
Good evening,
so
Nurse Brannigan.
I'm
Good
gonna
evening,
trust
Doctor.
Nurse Brannigan here.
I've decided that I won't reveal Dr. Tippett's, shall we say, misdemeanor.
I'm so glad you share my point of view. Dr. Tippett's is a brilliant practitioner. We most definitely need his know-how.
I hope you're right. This is a huge risk we're taking.
Dr. Tippett's must regain his confidence. Please, keep this decision between you and me. He doesn't need to know you found out.
Ooh, so a hint for Tippett's has been lost in the process. I mean, I guess that's not that big a deal. We kind of have learned what we needed to learn about Tippett's. I wonder if we can find anything out about the guy
Goodbye,
at the
nurse.
docks.
Call me if you need assistance.
Which guy at the docks? So that should be... You have anything new to say to us, Kay? I don't think so. Yeah.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
The dead guy at the docks. The guy we fought at the docks? William? Oh, the guy who we found who had been... Well, that was William's boat. Yeah, so that William guy is the skull we killed. It was his boat. And I think the guy that was kind of implicated was just a victim of William the Skull. All right, so nice to see a whole bunch of investigations checked off. We can head back over into the docks. There's a couple of investigations there that we need to figure out. But I think first things first, let's go to our sister's ceremony here. I don't understand why it's always throwing down random custom markers on the map. I don't know what it does. What I'm doing that does that. So we need to get, where are we going into? Oh no, this looks like it's just a new spot that we haven't really been to yet. So this is part of Whitechapel, which we have uplifted to being stable. It really looks stable, gonna be honest. So what do we got here? Prywin. What? Really? We got it. This is on our way to a cemetery? All right. Well, so let's do this. I can't lock onto him from here. Hi, bud.
We have to stop it! Oh my god!
Here you go. Rah, rah, rah.
He's dead! Fucking ass!
Gonna have to really put some levels into that ultimate to make it super worth it. Like, it's nice, it's fun, and it lets me hit a bunch of dudes, but it does not do very much damage. Alright. The mix of skills we've got now is pretty helpful, though. I gotta remember we've got that little AoE. We've got that, like, shadow napalm thing now. Influenza, frequently complicated with pneumonia. I wish once you looked at one of these, the others would go away. What's wrong? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. All right. What is this? Just a spot to get warm, apparently. So we're headed across this bridge here, but let's go take a piece. He did indeed. Hello. Oh, I was hoping you were someone to talk to. I was so weirded out by you just enjoying your little nightly stroll. I gotta remember there is a clear separation between combat and social areas. Quarantine, contagious disease. No one shall leave the quarantine area. We've read a couple of those before too. So that appears to go down into something, and then maybe this is how we leave from it. Maybe this is like a little side area. The Stonebridge sewers. Is there a reason for me to be in here? Oh, hello. Hi, friend. Whoa. How come y'all can teleport? That's my move. Alright, so this may be another instance of me getting a little bit ahead of myself. Why don't we go attend the funeral? I cannot imagine that this would be here so close to the funeral if we were not destined to be here soon. But running down to go do an entire dungeon rather than the objective we started off with is not a great way to get through the storyline. And honestly, too, like, I think one of the things that I've come to just expect about Vampyr is the storyline is really the only part of it that's super interesting. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think the combat in this is bad. I think the combat's fun. There's enough cool little powers and tricks. But the combat is definitely not the compelling part of the game. So if I can speed the combat portions up to be able to get into more story stuff, that would be the preference. So guys, we're actually at the cemetery now. Like, I'm basically at the funeral. You're gonna make me like come in to attend the funeral by murdering a bunch of guys on my way in the door? That'll make everyone feel real at home. Oh, I'm out of blood. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Nope. Okay. We need blood, so take your time. So that's the downside to the bite doing damage now. When we upgraded our bite to hurt people, I don't get 2 bites off any longer, which is kind of a bummer. When we're in situations like this where we're trying to get our blood back up real quick, that is a missed opportunity. Shillings. Yeah, nothing really doing over here. Man, that's not a great feel right there. I wish, is there a... Does anyone know what the key command is for NVIDIA Ansel? No, my wife says. Alt F2 while playing a game. Does this have Ansel? It doesn't. That's a bummer. There's no real good like first person viewpoint. There's a couple really fun like interesting shot compositions that I've seen walking through here that I would love to get screenshots of, but I don't think there's a way to kill the UI and get Jonathan out of the frame and stuff, which is kind of a bummer. They just need more blood. You're right. I don't need to eat more blood. I just need to eat more blood per meal. If they had stronger hearts that were pumping more blood, maybe before I kill any of these guys, I should make them do a bunch of like aerobic exercise to really get the BPMs up.
I don't know if I have the strength.
I'll stop joking, Jonathan. You're right. I'm sorry. Man, at least... What the... Widow in distress. Alright, well, we can mourn our sister in a moment. We ain't just gonna let people die over here. Right. Grab a snacker. Duck out of the way. Yeah, I'm trying to help, lady. Maybe instead of shouting somebody help, maybe cheer me on. Some words of encouragement. And then what did she say? What do you want? Like I'm just some common ruffian? Ma'am, I'll have you know I am a reputable doctor. Now, is there anything that you need medical attention for? Alright, hello. You know, I complain about all these grates all the time, but obviously for the other citizens of London, they are a godsend.
Are you all right, miss?
I don't know. Who were those people? They wanted to kill me. Why?
They've lost their minds in the epidemic. They won't come back for now.
You seem to know a lot about them, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. I'm investigating this disease.
I am Xiaoxun. Thank you so much for helping me, Mr. Reid. I must go to the cemetery now. Goodbye.
Wow, you're not easy to spook, huh? Just on your way to finish your business straight off? I'm just gonna do a little grave rob.
It's locked, all right.
It's locked. Hmm. Whoa. What were you doing in here, lady? What in... all right. All right. I have a feeling you and I will be having more conversations later. But for now, I have a funeral to attend. Discreetly. I have to attend it discreetly, I was told. So it's 44 meters away. A candlelit dinner. Let me take you to the most romantic place in London. This cemetery. Why did it stop switching? There we go. So I mean, if the funeral is 44 meters away, they definitely hear me out here fighting dudes to the death.
I have this thirst for blood.
I love how they assume that Jonathan would never get used to the concept of eating rats, which is so funny to me because like he's done way worse shit since we started playing than eat a couple rats at this point. Nom, 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 nom. I wish he had the same proclivity to make comments if I'm like feeding when I'm already full. She could have been. I got a feeling that if she was dining on the rats, she would not have had questions about the skulls, though. So unless she's a phenomenal actor, I think that she is perhaps just an innocent tangled up in things. You know, I forgot we had guns. We just picked up shotgun shells, and I was legitimately surprised. Ever since I found my sweet, sweet cudgely boy, I have not really cared about the guns. This is another example of a really well crafted environment that doesn't serve a ton of purpose other than being really well made. I'm so intrigued by Dontnod's decision to make these like fairly ornate, like no asset repeating, but also like thoughtfully crafted. Like they're not pick and stick where they just kind of lay down a couple of shapes and put assets around them. Like they're all very organic. Sell extra ammo is actually a really good idea. We haven't really looked into that. I don't know how that works because we can only carry X number at a time. See, like here, we just run over here into a dead end. Why not? But it might let us sell out of the stash. That's a good call, Afterlife. All right. I think we've left enough space between the Prywin and ourselves to be discreet.
Since I can't reveal myself to my mother now, I must find a discreet spot to attend the ceremony.
Fortunately, I can teleport. So the cool, all right, before we walk forward into this funeral, right? What would the cool thing be? The cool thing would be we're attending the ceremony and like the big bad shows up and we can't do anything about it because we would reveal ourselves. That's like the cinema moment.
And the life. He that believeth in me, though he
what
were
a sad
dead,
funeral.
yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. We commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father, the soul of our sister departed, and we commit her body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
My mom looks like Dana Carvey in drag. Oh, this is really sad.
Why kill my Mary and stick her here in this cold, god-awful place?
These are the legal requirements for the epidemic, madam.
Oh, Avery, I feel so tired. Please take me home.
Yes, madam.
Well, at least we know Mama Reid's still like pretty well taken care of. Avery looks like a stand-up fella. The priest walked out of frame like an extra in a community theater project. Like very deliberate, head stapled in one direction.
Oh, Mary. What have I done? If I could only change one thing. One thing. This is a nightmare.
Jonathan, there is nothing you can do but accept it.
What brings you here?
I thought you could use the company. I am so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
She was a good person. Vibrant, full of life. She was kindness incarnate, my Mary.
You're a good person, Jonathan. And a young Ekon.
A
Ekon.
newborn cast into the night without so much as a candle to guide your way.
She had been scouring the most dangerous parts of London in search of me. And it led to her death.
Jonathan, don't.
I still hear her last thoughts. They echo in my head. Her mind shattered, and it haunts me.
Jonathan, stop. Listen carefully. You must come to terms with this. You must learn to live with what happened.
You know, I kind of feel like this is maybe a vulnerable moment for Jonathan, like a breakdown moment of like he wants to come to grips with it, right? Like he's been shockingly resilient to the newfound reality he's thrown himself into, but
How is
maybe
it
she can
possible?
help a little.
Tell me, is it so easy to take a life every night and then just smile and nod at those you spared?
Don't you see? You're doing the work of our enemies, feeding your remorse. We are weakest when we grieve, and the guilt blurs our senses.
And so this is why you're here. To warn me. You've felt this pain yourself. You too have endured this.
I don't want to lose you, Jonathan. I've lost so many friends. Loved ones I cherished. Pray for Mary's forgiveness, if you must.
I'm not a religious man. You should know that.
This is not about you forgiving yourself. This is for her. This is you telling Mary how sorry you are.
What should I do then?
St. Mary's Church is not far from here.
Ooh.
Go there and make your peace. Find the solace you need.
My lady wants me to confess.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess, I think.
Interesting. That's, you know, I get that there's not a whole lot of room in the narrative for Jonathan to be stuck like freaking out all the time, right? Like you run into almost like the Fallout 4 conundrum of like, how can Jonathan have this motivation but then still take the time off to like get to the bottom of who's hunting the fake vampire girl back at Pembroke. So I think they've done a good job of not overplaying Jonathan's hand emotionally. Yeah, the Shenmue problem, exactly. Where it's like, you know, we have a mission critical, super tight deadline thing that we must do, but also I could go to the batting cages. Yakuza suffers from it. There isn't as much of a concern about it when you've designed your character in such a way that they kind of reserve their emotions and they stay a little bit more stoic. And I think they've done a good job of that with Jonathan, because we don't get a ton of moments where Jonathan expresses weakness or concern about himself. And often when he does it, it's not in dialogues. Like he's done it more just kind of offhand to himself as we've gone around. He'll have moments where he'll just kind of speak into the air, almost as a way to just, you know, kind of give his thoughts manifest, which is interesting that he would open up to Lady Ashbury so quickly. Although certainly him standing over his sister's grave, watching his mother depart the cemetery could be a good catalyst. We might have even been able to confess to Clay Cox at that point. So I don't really feel that we're in a position to sleep again just yet. Let's go to the church. Again, I've kind of accepted that the game isn't going to force us to move forward when we aren't ready. So we can kind of move the main quest along a little bit. And I'm assuming that's going to get us to bounce around to the other districts, right? Like we can be a little bit more organic about, okay, these people are nearby, let's talk to them. rather than, you know, I know a couple times we went over to the docks and had to really go against the grain. Ooh, yowza. Now, I've never played, Don't Nod has the adventure kind of action beat 'em up game. What's it called? Remember Me? And I've never played it, and I'm wondering what the combat in Remember Me is like, because I genuinely feel that the combat in this is a little bit, I don't know. I mean, it's not that it isn't dynamic. There's a lot of fun interplay between what I'm doing.
She goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood from the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
This is actually Don't Nod's developers who just heard me talking shit.
And pointless compassion. Shed your skin. Forget your old weaker self.
What do you want from me?
Ooh.
Ascalon does not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon?
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn.
Yo, he's a biggin.
By them, or I shall return as your judge and jury.
So, like,
these immortals try my patience with their plans and unsolicited counsel.
Someone's in a rumble out there in the distance, but yo, so that guy's so big. Is he? Did he go into any of our lists here? Obviously, he does not look like anything remotely close to a standard human. He had like the bugged out eyes, the claws. He had the gigantic. Oh, these are the guys. We approached these guys from the opposite side once, and this guy's got the cross. But like, how does that dude get suits? He had that really nice 3-piece suit, and you know that's custom. He didn't like stand in at a tailor for that. Okay, so that guy wrecked us last time.
Stunned me with his faith. His crucifix. This is not good news.
So he did not stun me with his faith, other than earlier in our playthrough. This time he got absolutely housed. There was another guy. Where'd he go? Down the stairs. Oh, there he is. Hey guys. I can't believe he recovers from that before I do. That's kind of obnoxious. Alright, so we've actually been up this road before when we were investigating the rumors surrounding the, what's his name? Petrescu. Darius. Because we, bless you, because we took that side turn when we were looking for the poet. Alright. Now, can we go in here? How does that work? This is perhaps an interesting sequence if we find that we... Well, no, because she wouldn't have told us to go to the church if we couldn't.
Yes? What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
Vicar Joseph Larrabee.
You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop, but I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
There's a personal matter. Yeah, the other two seem rude. I'm gonna go with this as personal.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent as stone.
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage, yet I see the pain that lies beyond. I am here to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest. As you seem quite adamant.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you.
How much do I tell him?
She was my sister.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened to her?
Ooh.
She was murdered.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
I feel responsible. The pain is consuming me.
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
What words would you like to say to your poor sister?
I swear it wasn't me. Please forgive me. I promise to find those responsible. I mean, this is what we swore at the beginning, right? Like, in the moments as we fled her body, he swore to find out who had done this. But I kind of like just asking forgiveness. Like, I'm still gonna find whoever did this anyway. But I think Jonathan's big concern with his sister is just like, I want you to know that I feel terrible.
I killed you. There's no excuse. My dear Mary, forgive me.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
Well, close to the way she would have wanted. I get what your point was, Vicar, but it's not quite as simple as what you've just prescribed. All right, so they want us to head back to the hospital. And I think we're going to actually kick around Whitechapel for a minute or two here.
I confessed to that vicar. Do I feel better? Only time will tell.
So here's Clayton. He's the reporter. We've already talked to him. And I don't think we have an investigation with him yet. No. We can stop searching for Widow in Distress. Wait, is this the same vicar? No, this is a different guy.
You are blinded by your
That's Father Whitaker.
Pay me a glass and I'll be gentle.
Alright, this is the
Don't
woman
be
we were
shy,
ignoring last time.
handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling, but I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Ooh.
If I may. I'm a doctor.
The vicar is a
All right,
vampire.
then,
That's
but be
interesting.
quick,
Niche.
though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Oof.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. Hi, Christina. I'm Dr. Jonathan Crane.
Do you need any assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
Does she? Oh, she's fatigued. So we've got her and Arthur are fatigued. That's all right. I just have. I'm carrying fatigue,
think
girl.
I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
All right. So now we can get down to the more important stuff. So we can ask her about the reporter, but let's get some more info about her first.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
Christina could not find a decent job because she was a migrant. I don't judge you. You should try to find another job. That was your decision to sell your body. I mean, look, I don't judge you. You do you.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly. But it is not your concern, Doctor.
What do you know about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
That woman is a saint. She's living proof that a strong will is sometimes all you need to make a difference.
Oh, we should stop in and see if she's available to talk to as a vendor now, too.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
This seems like such a rude question. Like, that seems pretty obvious.
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Ma'am, I've actually never been to the West End because I don't even know any of the people in it. All right.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
So we've actually got to go back to our hideout right quick. Yeah, definitely a straight shooter. Was not looking to goof off. Is this? It is not. Is it over here? I know we have a hideout. I know it exists. There we go. We're gonna go make another fatigue medication because we just gave the one that we had planned on giving to the young gangster kid away. So I want to have that ready. Again, I'm trying my best to treat as many of the diseases as I can while we're in an area so that they progress the next time we sleep. Because if I... oh man, we have so much of this medicine now. Not as much of these guys, though. So yeah, like the big ones, we still don't have a lot of mats. I think if you don't treat something, it escalates. So like fatigue is the first part of the like heart disease line. So if I don't treat fatigue and we advance the clock, I think they get anemia. That's why I'm trying to be so meticulous about going and talking to the people that we know are sick. So now we got to go hunt down this guy. I had really hoped that searching for his investigation would make him easier to locate, but that does not seem to be the case. This guy we haven't met yet, but we know him. He's the meek kid's dad.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reid, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Well, you didn't have to ask. I'm here to help.
Can I offer you my medical expertise, Mr. Peterson?
The name is Colossus Joe. I don't get sick.
Tell me about your life in London.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
It's good sportsmanship there, Colossus Joe. We'll get into that in a moment. I want to know about Nurse Crane's dispensary.
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
She's doing good work. I saw her yesterday and told her she could call on me if she ever felt threatened. Do you know what I mean?
So yeah, like everyone in Whitechapel seems to really appreciate the nurse, so I'm glad we didn't shut her down.
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
Man, nothing but straight talkers here in Whitechapel.
Why do you keep on working for the gang, Joe? You know it doesn't suit you.
It's true, I hate this job. And I know I made some bad choices, but I'm a wet boot boy now, and people won't forget it.
You could leave tomorrow. Start another life in another town.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. We are poor. My son's weak, and there's no way he'll endure another disappointment.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
I feel like Joe's the kind of guy that would have heard that and come over here to fight. Joe's extortions put Barrett Lewis in tough financial situation. Barrett Lewis is in a tough financial situation.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
You want to fight about it? I absolutely think he would have come over here.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In
Could
the closed
you
workshops
get
nearby.
me a water?
I worked there as an apprentice in better days.
No, I've still got
now
most of
I
them.
only
Don't
go
worry
to
about it.
find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was
No,
mugged,
I'm good.
though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Well, I can find your loot, dog.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Do you have any news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary.
I guess what she does for people makes it all right in the end.
This guy's not as pumped about it.
I only need you to purchase something from my shop, sir.
Right then. Show me what you have.
So he's got some of the handle parts and stuff. This guy seems to be kind of the best all around. Because all of the various things that we could have are available. And then we've got some stuff to sell. So a lot of these can also be broken down. But the watches we have determined... Oh, shoot, I hit the wrong button. The watches we've determined are just to sell.
Right then.
Or not the watches, the rings. So we can get rid of these boys. And that's a pretty nice little boon. Man, I am just hoarding money too. Alright. Well, we'll think about doing another weapon upgrade, perhaps. I think I'm pretty comfortable with the cudgel at this point. I don't see a ton of reason to worry about moving anything on that. Let's go find Joe again here. Where'd he go off to?
Time to pay, one way
Yeah.
or another.
Alright, Joe, hang
You
on
again?
a minute.
What do you want this time?
I want to talk about Barrett, alright?
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Ooh. The plot thickens. Oh, so I can't do a follow-up question on that with him? I gotta go back and talk to Barrett?
Goodbye.
That seems bizarre.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your
No, I
focus.
just want to talk about your bestie.
Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
Without making excuses for him, it's safe to say that despair can poison even the sanest mind.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against a wet boot boy.
What do you know of Harry Peterson? The boy seems so fragile. Not like his father at all.
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining. He's had it tough, all right, but he needs to grow a pair.
What troubles him exactly?
Well, despite being his father's son, almost everything, I think. He never wanted to come to Whitechapel in the first place. Hates this place more than most of us.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Man. Peterson family does not have a ton of fans here in Whitechapel. Alright, so where the hell's Albert? I feel like I've been searching for this kid for like 10% of our total playthrough in this game. LB. You around, bud? No. This isn't even anywhere near you. This is where skulls live. I didn't go through a gate that time. We just suddenly had bad guys. All right. So this literally is like a he could be anywhere situation, which is super irritating. No. Let's go head back into town because there are still a couple other people in the Whitechapel like contacts list that I haven't seen. So if we're gonna be wandering around looking for him anyway, we might find them too. And if we do a couple circuits here and don't see anyone, I think we just ditch this and come back later. I don't see, the tricky thing is I would just not worry about it, but he's one of the people that we have to treat. And I, like I say, I don't want to just have fatigue run rampant for him.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Ooh.
Actually, I am.
Then
Not
you have
interested,
come to the right
snake oil
place.
saleswoman.
The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reid, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reid.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
I don't know how well I trust you, ma'am.
You're ill, Miss Swanborough. I wonder if your concoction will do the trick.
I'm perfectly fine, thanks to my miraculous elixir. You, on the other hand, look pale and tired, Doctor.
Woof.
Have you any news on Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I can't believe that people are naive enough to trust her medicine. She's just a shady nurse with good connections.
That's hilarious.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
I mean, I don't know that you're doing too much better, miss. What do you sell?
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
The Swanborough cordial. List of ingredients is printed in Latin. It can be recycled into components. I mean, we gotta buy one, right? She only has one to buy. I wonder what it'll break down into. Alright, good day, ma'am. Now, someone walked around in the background. Could it be? Oh, it's not. It's another rando.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reid, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
Well, if you don't feel well, I can help.
You don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any help?
I always feel ill, sir. It's like I'm never right.
So, treatment for a migraine, which we cannot do.
I will see you later.
Let's do Nurse Crane's dispensary first.
Have you any news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I visited her dispensary recently. If I'd heard about it sooner, it would have made life easier.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert Smaller. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. Now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Ah, okay.
A gun,
So
alcohol,
we can give
and a bad temper make a
him the
terrible
letter about
cocktail,
Albert, or we can give it to
Goodbye for
Albert. But if we give it to Albert, I'm assuming it means Albert becomes a wet boot boy. And I don't know how much I love that. Like, that kind of sucks. Although, honestly, if we can never find him, maybe he deserves it. Because I swear to God, he doesn't actually exist. He was like the very first person we saw in this district, because we saw him get in the fight with his father where he almost got shot. And then, like, I just pieced past him, and my brain cannot connect the dots on where it is in this maze of ramshackle buildings he's actually at.
Answer to all your problems, as long as you have the money.
So there's her. Here's Ben the Tramp. Albert, we found you, you son of a bitch.
How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy, all right? Now piss off.
Albert goes hard.
Do you need assistance?
Please. Feeling tired these days.
Oh, a much different answer once I was going to give you some meds, son.
Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
Have you heard anything about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
Nurse Crane? Yeah, I heard she's doing all right. Connected and protected.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
Medication and drugs are a rare commodity in East London. So you picked an easy target, didn't you?
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Oh, man. You're not making it super easy for me to want to side with you here, Albert. Let me read the letter again.
Goodbye, young man.
So we can either give it to Albert or give it to his father. Let's see. Oh. Swainborough's Miracle Elixir. Ingredients. Aquafontis. Heliorepetia. Edam stellata. Hydrogen peroxide. Excipient. Nil aluide. I'm assuming if we go and convert all of this, it's just straight up snake oil. Now, where is... Yeah, here we go. Concerning the recruitment of new boys in Whitechapel, I think I found one, Albie. He's as stupid as a stool, but tough. I asked him to prove to me he could get some drugs for the black market, and delivered quickly and nicely. Next time we meet, I'll tell him he's accepted as a wet boot boy, and he must now meet the bosses to get his orders. So we can go and tell his dad that he took the medicine to become a wet boot boy, or we can go tell Albert, hey, the dude you were working with is dead, so it doesn't matter. Oh, wait, Swainborough. Oh, reading the description told us it was a con. Oh, Mason's somewhere in the area as well. I think we are going to give the letter to Joe so that at least then, or not Joe, what's his name? Benjamin.
Good evening.
So that at least he knows why his son did it.
I'm afraid not, Mr. Reid.
I have found a very interesting letter. Your son planned to prove his worth to the gang by stealing your medicine.
Oh, I see. So the little bugger thought he could use his dad to build a reputation.
The gang's recruiter was dead when I found him. Perhaps you should take better care of your son.
I love my Albert,
Yeah, I agree, Afterlife, but I mean, 3/4 of this game seems to be a wet boot boy, so...
Well, I'm an arsehole, I suppose. Anyway, thanks for the letter. This is for your trouble.
Oh, sweet. Thanks for the Swainborough cordial. I didn't actually need one.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
So now we've uncovered almost everyone here in Whitechapel. We have a migraine we can't treat. We got to find Mason, and I'm going to also talk to Mrs. Scarborough and pull the trigger on us knowing it's a scam. Yeah. Hi there.
Good evening, my dear colleague.
Oh, I am not your colleague, ma'am.
Loretta, your miraculous formula wouldn't even cure a common cold, and you know it.
The Swanborough's cordial's secret ingredient is hope, Doctor. And it's something people around here really need.
A placebo effect is real and has benefit. But in your case, you could be murdering your customers who may die because they are not receiving the necessary medical attention.
Medical attention? In Whitechapel? Trust me, my cordial is the best option they have, since it is the only one.
That's not true. Dorothy's got a clinic set up.
If your true purpose was to help, you wouldn't take money from the poor for your snake oil.
Oh, but to pay for it is part of the process, Doctor. If it were free, they wouldn't believe in it.
Ugh, you're the literal worst.
Goodbye, Miss Swanborough. Perhaps we'll talk again.
The Swanborough cordial.
All right, so her husband is around somewhere.
As long as you have the money.
I guess we're just going to have to wander around with vampire vision on for a second here. There's Darius. No real need to worry about him at the moment. Oh, but we do want to go and talk to Dorothy. I don't know that she's going to be in her spot yet because it hasn't been a night. But I'd like to see what she's got for sale. Maybe by us having left and done a little bit of the story mission stuff, that'll have reset things and she's upstairs. This building is enormous. Yeah, here we go.
Welcome back, Dr. Reid.
Good evening, nurse. How should I address you? Dorothy? Dorothea? Miss Crane?
Dorothy is all right. If you don't mind me calling you Jonathan.
That's fine with me.
What can I do for you then, Jonathan?
All right. I have some stuff I want to talk about with you, but also let's
show
trade.
me what you have in stock, please.
Ooh, could this be our long lost headache medicine? I will definitely buy that. A sturdy blood sample, which gets us another serum. And then she sells a ton of the chemical compounds, including some of the stuff for like the second level cures. All right.
Welcome back, Jonathan.
How is the sanitary situation in Whitechapel?
I don't know whether you have undertaken your own patrols or examinations, but local health seems stable.
How are things going in the dispensary?
Things are going fine since we made our arrangement.
Do you have many patients?
A few, but most of them just pass through and go back home, especially since those vigilantes stormed the building on the night you were here.
That was so crazy. I want to know what happened to her during that.
Attacks by the
because she disappeared.
No. It looks like they have found another business to extort.
I hope you've stopped jeopardizing this facility with your illegal business, Dorothy.
Yes, I have. Most of the time. But the blackmail money is too useful to stop it completely. I just target less dangerous people.
Who is the current victim?
I would rather you did not know. You are my client, not my accomplice. Besides, I'm much more cautious since the first time you found me.
Why did you blackmail Lady Ashbury? She's a generous person. You could have asked her for money directly.
She killed those patients, I'm sure of that. I know you like her, but that gingerhead has a taste for blood.
Dorothy, not messing about.
Tell me about yourself, Dorothy.
There is not much to say. My real name is Dorothea Crasciunescu. I was born in Romania. And I may have been the best nurse Pembroke ever had, before you fired me.
Hilarious.
Do you regret your time at Pembroke?
I missed the energy. There was so much to do, so much to learn. Even though I was double-crossing the board, I felt I was part of something worthwhile there.
Do you think about going back to Romania? Once the war is over and the epidemic here has been contained.
Jonathan, this war will be over long before you will see any improvement in Whitechapel's sanitary situation.
Do you need medical help, Dorothy?
I'm a professional nurse. Rest assured, I'll ask for your help if I need it.
Fair.
Are you not afraid of dying? The epidemic is deadly and very contagious.
I'm more afraid of being locked in a cell. I've seen what most hospitals do to the sick staff. They keep them hidden to avoid panic.
Do you trust me?
You forced me to resign after you caught me trying to save a dying patient. Of course I trust you. You're a blackmailer, just like me.
Ooh, all right, I get it.
Goodbye for now, Dorothy.
Keep up the good work, Dorothy.
Up the good work.
Really laying it on a little thick. Man, if you are looking for kiss asses and flatterers, do not go to Spanish flu infested Whitechapel. That is something that I have learned the hard way. All right, so what is it? We got the two dudes that are sick, one of which we still haven't met. We got another guy we don't even know who the hell he is. Let's go to the hideout right quick and read. Oh, wait, actually, I could probably read it from the inventory. Right? No. That I might have to do at my medical desk, so we might need to be at Pembroke for that. Where I gotta turn left. And then right. There we go. So I think double check on this. If we can do anything with the headache medicine, we'll brew some of that up and get those dispersed. And then we're going to double back over to the Pembroke and keep with the main storyline here. Let's see. Where's the stairwell? Yeah, so this blood sample has turned into a level 2 health. So we might spin one of these up as like an oh no button during a boss fight. Is this? Yes. All right, so we have headache medicine now. We can make a migraine medicine for Benjamin. And then I think the guy back at the Pembroke just has a headache, not a migraine. Yeah, he's just got a headache. So we'll mix up a headache one as well. Beaut. All right, cool. So we'll go hand off this medicine to homeboy. If we run into the guy... Oh, that's right. These guys are right outside the door. If we run into the other guy, that's great. If not, I'm not going to worry about it because I would like to get at least one more bit of story stuff done. All right, handled. Let's go give Ben his medicine. This is another kind of weird thing about this game is just the uneven pacing nature. Like, believe me, I want to get back to Pembroke and advance the story. I think the main storyline with Jonathan is very interesting. I like the side quest storylines. But it just comes at you so unevenly. You'll get to an area and 7 people will tell you their personal life stories and how they need help.
I cannot
enter. Oh, I can't go through from that side? That's so dumb. Which is just kind of a weird setup. Alright, so we're looking for Ben, who should be right over here near his son. And then if we can stumble into the snake oil salesman's husband, great. If not, I'm not going to sweat it. Mr. Swainborough. Hey, Ben. Sorry that he stole your meds, dog. I got you something.
Can I help you?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Reid.
I don't know that that's true, friendo.
You don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any help?
I always feel ill, sir. It's like I'm never right.
Here you go.
I can try to help your body heal, sir. But you must stop destroying it.
The war destroyed me, Doctor.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar. A coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
Yes. Sounds like shell shock. I've seen a few cases like yours. This is nothing you should be ashamed of, Benjamin. And it's perfectly natural in your situation.
Not ashamed. I just need my pills. Peace and quiet, that's all.
So that was the first, like, direct
a gun, alcohol,
reference to shell shock.
Make a terrible cocktail, sir.
Which is interesting because we've had 3 or 4 people now that we've run into that have been former soldiers, and this was the first time that Jonathan, like, acknowledged that as being something that was an issue for people coming back from the war. All right. So we still got 2 mystery boys. Oh, there's another gate here that we can use to get in and out of Dorothy's. So the last of the Whitechapel NPCs don't actually exist. They are fake. So let's get on out of here and head back to Pembroke to get Oswald his meds, talk to Victor, or talk to Edgar. There's a rogue skull over there. Oh, I'm going into the back of Whitechapel. Get out of here. Hi, friendo. Yeah, you're not as tough as the one I've met in the sewer. So this was what, just to come back here and kill you for that drug sample? Oh, and these lead plates. Come now. Ah, here we go. There's always something. What do we got?
This could be the box Lewis thought he lost.
Oh.
There's a letter inside.
Interesting. Small box containing a few trinkets and a letter. Small box. Barrett, there's no easy way to say it, so I'm going to be blunt. We can't keep on like this. At least I can't keep on like this. If Joe ever finds out about us, about his wife and his best friend, it will crush him, and then he will kill you. We had some good times together, but let's face it, I'm never going to be like your Jane was, or I'm never going to be your Jane Lewis. You know it, and I know it too. So I'm ending this, right here and right now. If you agree with my decision, I'm sure we'll find a way to be happy again. You, Joe, and me in time. And then the most important part of our story will have been preserved. Until that day, I wish you'd forgive me. Goodbye for now. Jane Peterson.
A love letter from Joe Peterson's wife addressed to Barrett Lewis. Who should I give it to, I wonder?
Ooh, we got a hatchet. So this is just a fast attack. So we could, like, pair that up with the stake again, but I think we're going to stick with the big two-hander. So look, I am not, it was very obvious that Mrs. Peterson never intended Joe to find out. I have no intention. Maybe they show up later, or like you said, they're just hard to find. Yeah, I think it could just be a case where maybe I gotta keep progressing. The only reason I'm concerned is that for me to know that guy has some kind of illness, I think I would have need to have seen him at some point, and I'm concerned that maybe I saw him and just didn't actually talk to him. Alright, let's go find Barrett real quick before we leave Whitechapel. See, this is my problem, is like every time I'm kind of on my way to go do something, I suddenly realize like, oh wait, before we go, I could go talk to this guy. So that's Dorothea. Barrett is hard left here, right? He's out in front of his shop.
Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe. How long have we known each other? We even used to be neighbours, for Christ's sake.
I'd prefer not to give you another beating, Barrett.
Alright, Joe, close your ears, bud.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? I found this box in an abandoned building nearby. I believe it belongs to you.
Let's have a look. Yeah, this is mine. So, you faced those loons that roam around there. Extraordinary.
I suppose I was lucky.
Luck is a commodity round here. Yours should be properly rewarded.
About this package, it's not just tools and trinkets, is it?
Don't want to be rude or anything after your kind gesture, but it's none of your business.
Fair. That's fair.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Alright. So, how do we get out of here? We're going to make a right, and we're just going to carry that all the way down into the hospital. Yeah? Not that right, though. This one. Yup. And we'll just straight on till morning, this sucker. You're Christina. Clayton. Alright, let's get back to the Pembroke. Sorry, friends. No time. Got stuff to do. Very busy and all that. Just plague about.
Over there!
No. Ow. Alright, listen. I was just gonna walk through here so as to avoid this dude with his fancy staff. Oh, there's a crossbowman behind me too. Gotcha. Hey, stop it. All right, that's enough. I believe this is the little courtyard we were in earlier when we find that guy's missing medicine. So, yeah, just keep on this way and we get back to the hospital. So we're going to go find Oswald right quick and get him his medicine for his head.
Remorse and pain are precious when binding you to the earth. You. I remember you.
Ooh. Hello, friend. This is our... Whoa. What's up with your hairdo, friendo?
Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making.
Bloodhorns.
It's your doing. You made me this creature. What are you?
I am the land. You are our champion.
What?
Riddles and rhymes. You took my life. Now you insult my mind.
Be stilled, my child. I bring understanding.
What is it you seek?
This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged.
This has something to do with the epidemic.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
This guy is the worst.
I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave. So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
All right. Oswald, buddy. I know you've had a headache for an awful long time. Come here, pal.
Hello again, Mr. Thatcher. Do you feel any better now?
Yes. This neighborhood may stink of dog shit and reek of piss, but to me it smells like the purest mountain air.
I think that maybe is part of your ailment.
Don't get me wrong, sir. I'm grateful for what you've done, but I've never felt comfortable with doctors.
I'm certain you have your reasons. But let me assure you, I'm not like other doctors.
I'm not like other doctors.
It is true.
I'm quirky and have sworn a Hippocratic oath and also drink blood.
Mr. Thatcher, do you have a job?
No. Since I came back from the war, I spent most of my time and energy just trying to forget.
I understand what you mean. I was a soldier too.
No. Nobody can truly understand what I've gone through.
Why were you locked in that sewer? What happened?
I went by the canal after an argument with a friend. Got chased by these fucking wankers and had to barricade myself in, despite my claustrophobia.
Why did you run? What was the reason for your argument?
Newton wanted me to go to a hospital, but I can't stand being closed in. Makes me feel like I'm suffocating.
Man, imagine claustrophobia so bad you couldn't go indoor. Like, this guy's just choosing to be down in the rain next to the canals in London during the middle of a pandemic. That sucks.
Tell me about your claustrophobia. Has anyone given you an official diagnosis?
That's what the bloody doctor said. But I don't want to go to a hospital to get checked again. I'll deal with it my own way.
All right, you do you, Oswald. I'm not looking to force you here. Yeah, I don't know that it's a great time to be camping.
Do you want to talk about why you have this fear of being enclosed?
When you're too scared to go into a doctor's, you just bring the doctor to you.
An irrational fear like yours is usually rooted in a specific event. Perhaps it would help to talk about it.
Well, Doctor, take a guess then, if you're so interested in my case.
You got buried.
When I rescued you, you expressed joy at seeing the sky again. So I'm inclined to believe you were trapped or buried somehow. Maybe during a shelling.
Jeez, you're good, Doc. You're really good.
Go on, please. Tell me more about it.
Newton and I were trapped in a circulation tunnel after an artillery attack. We were buried alive for several days without ever knowing if we'd be found.
Man, that's intense.
Oswald, tell me about what happened when you were buried in that tunnel with Newton.
It was more than dark. It was black as pitch. Hours seemed like days, and days like months. Oh, the terror, the shameful thoughts. Lord have mercy.
What you endured was terrifying. It would have completely destroyed weaker men.
It did not destroy Newton.
Shameful thoughts. Tell me about them.
At some point, I don't remember which day, but when I thought we'd never be rescued, that this would be our end, I thought about...
Say it, Mr. Thatcher. If you ever want to heal, you have to say it.
Yeah, I thought about what I could do to survive. Just for a few more days.
Woof.
I thought about killing Newton. Killing and eating him. The man I fucking love.
Woofskis. That's tough, buddy.
Tell me about your true feelings for Newton.
I love him. I'm not ashamed to say it. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. I can't imagine life without him.
Well, I did once. I imagined a life where I killed him and ate him, but I didn't like it.
Why should you be ashamed?
I'm not, I said. But Newton sees it differently.
I admire your honesty. It takes courage to stand up to society. The world needs people like you to create change.
Courage is what we needed in the trenches, looking death in the face every day. I speak plain. I speak my mind.
Have you always been this straightforward?
All I know is, before you saved me by the sewer, my only regret was I wouldn't be able to hold or kiss Newton again. I love him, that's all.
Oh, we lost the option of that one in the front. Oh, because that's what made him tell us. Yeah, okay, here it is.
Oswald, why did you not go to the Pembroke Hospital to seek medical help?
I don't trust doctors. All they care about was their careers and processes. I won't be locked in any room again by anyone.
Your fear of being trapped is not going to go away by itself. You need professional help.
I've seen enough butchers in white coats to last a lifetime. Hospitals reek of chemicals and death. What I need is fresh air.
I mean, good on you, but I don't know that that's really going to solve things the way you want. And then we should have some new conversations with Newton here.
Good evening, Dr.
Whoa, whoa, Oswald, listen,
Goodbye,
buddy.
Mr.
We just had a nice chat.
Try to take care of yourself.
I'm actually interested in talking to Newton, please.
Hello again, Mr. Blight. I'm happy to see Mr. Thatcher is safe, for now.
I'm eternally grateful, Doctor. We were total strangers and you helped us anyway. Can't thank you enough, sir.
Why do you stay here now that Mr. Thatcher's back?
It's complicated. Since the war, Oswald's been really nervous with the idea of entering any hospital. And me, I've got my own issues.
Can you speak about them?
Rats, sir. Even seeing one, they turn me. Just want to run. It's that fear that stopped me from going after Oswald when he left.
What can you tell me about the war, Mr. Blight? If you want to speak about it, of course.
War was... well, you know, sir. The stench of death everywhere. Your mates lying bleeding in the mud. Just praying to make it through and get home. Bloody nightmare.
Did you know Oswald Thatcher before the war?
No. We met in the battlefield. I think we're in the same boat to France. We've stuck together ever since.
I fought in France, too. I served as a field surgeon, but it was not uncommon to repel an assault, especially at night.
Yeah. The first time I was wounded, I had to protect the infirmary from hostiles.
You are always welcome at the Pembroke Hospital. As a former officer, I'll be honored to welcome a fellow veteran.
I'm not giving up on bringing Oswald back to the hospital. I just need to convince him that he needs some help.
Perhaps he needs to reach that decision by himself.
Could you speak to him? He doesn't usually listen to doctors, but perhaps because you've been through it, you can talk him round.
I mean, I don't think so. We had a pretty healthy conversation with him that didn't seem to point to being able to get him to go inside.
What caused your phobia of rats, Newton?
It happened last year following an artillery attack. I was trapped for 2 days in a hole under 2 dead soldiers. And there were rats.
Go on.
It started eating me as soon as I dozed. Gnawing at my ears.
Oof.
My fingers.
I get it,
lips.
Newton.
I couldn't move. Couldn't call for help.
I see.
No, you don't. You have no idea what it is to wake up buried under bodies. Fucking vermin eating your flesh. Oswald. He found me and saved me.
How do you feel about Oswald Thatcher? You are more than friends, aren't you?
I love him. I love Oswald. We knew we wouldn't survive the war without each other. But I am terrified, Doctor.
What frightens you so much?
What if people find out? Oswald says I'm ashamed, but it ain't that. It's more, well, you know, I never thought I'd love a man.
Enjoy your love. And enjoy life as long as you can, Mr. Blight. Don't let anyone tell you who you should love or how you should love them.
I appreciate your kind words, sir. But it ain't that easy. It's all so new to me.
You and Oswald were buried alive during the war. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was last summer.
I'm like, okay, I know this is also your trauma, but relive your trauma to tell me about his trauma.
Oswald seemed far more traumatized than you by the event.
It wasn't the first time it happened to me. And surviving it again gave me strength. You believe that?
How did you survive for a week?
Luckily for us, there were rations and water in the tunnel. It was an outpost, see. Since then, Oswald's not keen on being inside for too long.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight.
Thank you, friend.
Take care of yourself.
Let's do another quick search of the old dialogue tree with Oswald. And then go in and talk to Edgar.
Good evening.
Exactly.
Evening,
I mean, if you look at the situation we've seen throughout London and the fact that they were involved in the war, like, if you find something that's going to make you happy, you just cling to that.
Newton is conflicted about his feelings towards you. Would you like to talk about it, Oswald?
It makes me sad and angry. It feels like the beautiful thing we have is somehow tainted. It hurts to see him so lost.
His love for you is genuine. I'm certain he wasn't lying to me when he expressed his feelings for you.
Newton still has to accept it, knowing he'll be seen as a queer, a fairy, less than a man in those simple-minded bigots' eyes. Though he's more of a man than they'll ever be, so fuck them all.
Give him hell, Oswald. I like it.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher.
I also like these two poor dudes. I'm just a random guy in the canal, and I'm like, all right, listen. I am a rat catcher. I am a wolf fighter. I am a licensed medical professional. I am a relationship counselor.
Less resignation and more determination.
I know I can count on you. I wish I could say the same for the others.
Oh, this is
You look exhausted.
Gwyneth's giving him hell.
You're pushing yourself too hard. You don't have to bear the burdens of this hospital.
Another night with the glorious battalion of Pembroke.
Dr. Do-It-All. It's a lot. It's different than Dr. Do-Little. It's Dr. Do-Much.
Jonathan, my sincere condolences for your loss.
Your kindness is much appreciated, my lady.
Is there anything you require?
I spied my mother at the funeral. Have you ever revealed yourself to a member of your family?
No, Jonathan. And I'd advise you even from thinking about it.
Her family must be super dead, right? Like she said she was pretty old.
Are we then condemned to lie to those we love?
We are creatures of deception, my friend. But this is more for their sake than ours.
But what if I was close to someone and wished to tell them the truth?
Fear, loathing, disgust. And then they will plead to be turned. They will see it as salvation. Then there's the risk of gaining the attention of vampire hunters.
All of those are good points.
Are we condemned to attend the funerals of all we love?
Dying is the final act of life, Jonathan. Present company excluded. Accept it.
I don't know what to expect. Am I cursed to an eternity of solitude?
With time, we Ekon tend to go into isolation. If we survive long enough, that is.
As a practitioner of the medical sciences, I'm prepared for the death of loved ones. But mourning in the shadows, deprived of sharing one's grief.
We are no longer a part of the circle of life and death. We are undead, my friend, and so we are outcasts.
I mean,
Goodbye,
all the
my
points
lady.
she makes are very
Until we meet
solid.
again.
Oh, I can move the camera during conversations? I have not tried that this entire game. Oh.
Blood boil with the fever.
What's going on here?
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
What can you tell me about the recent events in the hospital?
That Mr. Hampton killed Miss Jones in her room.
What?
Then ran away.
And did you see all this?
No. I was working by the tents when it all happened. I only entered the room when they asked me to clean up the blood.
Where is Miss Jones's body?
I don't know. I'd imagine the morgue. It all happened so quickly.
Whoa.
Did you see Sean Hampton leave the hospital?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting the hospital gates after the shouting started. At first I thought it was someone who was just scared, but... well, maybe it was him.
So that's not good. So Sean Hampton is the priest we saved way earlier. He's the pillar from the docks.
Time has lost its effect on me.
So this is the old biddy that was in here he killed? Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. So is she dead? Oh, she was never on my list. Oh, I guess that should have clued me in that maybe there was something else afoot for her. All right. Well, I'm assuming Edgar's gonna have something. Yeah, the rumor monger, right? She was all about the hospital gossip, and she was like talking crap about the nurses. Wow, so that's intense. Man, poor Brannigan. That's kind of crummy. We are gonna talk to Swansea because I can only assume he's gonna have some things to say about it. But I'm gonna go refill my water first because this sounds like it's probably gonna be a long conversation. So I will be right back. All right. There is some heavy shouting going on in Edgar's office.
It's locked.
Thomas, eh? I don't know a Thomas. Let's find out.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Oh boy.
Leave him, Jonathan.
Hi, friend.
This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I
think Jonathan's just upset because we have the same haircut.
By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
Confidence must be restored.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned the dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
I'll help.
Very well. I'll help you.
I know this place means something to you. I have noticed how you suppress your appetite when around the staff and patients.
You mean when I'm around everyone, Edgar?
I do, dear fellow, I do.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Oh, so that guy was a pre-win. So he's definitely not someone I want to run into on the street. They'll not attack. I'll protect you all. I mean, I don't know that I'm ready to swear that I'll protect them all. I don't think they'll attack, though. The guy that turned is the priest from the very beginning who we saved in the fight in the warehouse. He's the dude who came on the boat with me and Edgar when we first came to the hospital.
For us here, in such a public venue.
McCallum is a fanatic.
Yep.
The guard will stop
So he must have turned
you don't know
and
what they're capable of,
kind of
Jonathan.
finished his
Very well.
transformation here
Since
at the
I
hospital.
brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
Okay. Apparently we gonna go take a crack at Sean Hampton.
Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
Then we shall go to the docks. What else we got cooking in here? We not... Oh, we can? Oh, we need 3 good handle parts. We're definitely going to have to keep an eye out for that, because that is a significant jump. So 3 good handle parts. So let's see. We're heading to the docks. And all the way south, it looks like. Almost to the crossing at Southwark. Oh, no, it looks like he's actually pretty close to the Turquoise Turtle. So we know where that is. It's still telling me to eat Edgar. Eat. It's still telling me to meet Edgar. And that doesn't seem to be a thing that I need to do anymore. Yeah, so it says we succeeded on the I was in the tomb. So we need the sad saint of the East End. I interrupted an argument in Edgar Swansea's office. Oh, this is just literally recapping what we just did. All right, so let's get to the docks and see if we can't take care of our boy. I think the area directly surrounding...
It seems the Priwen are redoubling their patrols in the district. I must be more careful.
I was literally just getting ready to say that I like that the area around the hospital tends to be a little bit more peaceful and chill. Ooh, Priest got game. He just let me have it.
Have no fear, brother.
Yeah, see, that's crap that they can like snap out of it before I can. Yep, they've definitely gotten a little more oomph. I think part of it was just me not paying attention as well. You will find there is very little that can kill a vampire, my friend. You have been offered relative immortality. Well, they didn't talk about load times, huh, Edgar? All right. So we gotta go back this way. There's a hideout in the docks, so if we start feeling like we need to level up, we can go do that. I don't really think it's super critical at the moment. I would like to maybe wait until we've seen what's going on in the docks before we determine if it's time to sleep.
It's done for him. I order you to.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought. Not a problem. Ooh, and we got a common handle part. Hey, bud.
Stupid beast! Die, vermin!
I'd like some blood, please. Blood, please.
Eat this!
I don't like the little noxious gas cloud. That's freaking irritating. Ow, stop. Those bullets hurt, dude. And so does the noxious... I just talked about the noxious cloud, man. Oh, snap. I gotta pay attention. Alright. Enough of that nonsense. So, from here, we hang a little right, and then we take a little left. Hi, guys. I'm actually not going to spend any time with you. I got things to do. Sorry. Serpentine. I learned this in the war.
Look lively! It's on to us!
Oh, boy. Not with the Overwatch support. I don't need to do this. Goodbye. Stop! Alright. And then... Can I just go through the gate? Yeah? Beautiful. Booth, what are you... Oh, you're just target shooting. I was like, Booth, bud, you alright? Alright, let's go talk to Tom, see if we can find out what's up. And then, do we have anything else going on? Yeah, we gotta go find this guy. We got a couple other dudes here in the docks that we've not located. But Sean... Oh. What is this?
Mark my words, miss. These murders are the work of a vampire.
A vampire?
What?
Whatever do you mean?
I'm a tracker of these creatures. A vampire hunter.
You'd best be off to your hunting then. For if the sewer dog is back and hunting all these poor folk, he needs a catching.
A sewer dog?
Who is this guy?
What's it look like?
It's an old story.
Not a drop of blood left in his body. This is the work of a vampire.
Alright, we know all about the sewer dog. We're good. Hey, Ichabod.
Teeth, claws,
My
murders
dude.
by night. Your sewer dog is my business.
He's the kind of prey I hunt, milady.
Except for the other type of prey I hunt. Are you free this evening?
Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
A vampire hunter?
This guy's a goof.
Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist. And they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm Dr. Jonathan
Throgmorton
Reid.
is a wonderful
I'd like
name.
to hear more about these vampires you're hunting.
A man of science? Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
I want to get this guy together with the poet from Whitechapel and let them just chat. Before you tell me about vampires...
Do you need my medical attention, sir?
I appreciate your concern, but I'm perfectly fine, thank you.
What can you tell me about this neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Poor boy. It's a shame I wasn't around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic.
This guy gives me big Gilderoy Lockhart vibes from Harry Potter.
Jack Gillingham was killed by a vampire. These evil rodents are spreading like a plague.
He believes a vampire killed Jack Gillingham.
So, how exactly are you protecting these people? I'm curious.
I patrol late at night, investigating anything unusual. I try and encourage people to stay indoors, but
He's like a
people are
suburban
careless.
neighborhood watch entry where he just like takes it into his own hands.
Actually, yes. I
And
plan
actually
to
just
put up
like yells at
posters
people
to
when
alert
they're
the
out taking their
population
trash
to the
out too late.
vampire threat.
Are you asking me to paste posters about vampires around the docks?
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then I can focus on my patrols.
How do you identify a vampire?
It's simple, really. They can't stand daylight. They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also cannot enter a house without being invited.
Have you ever killed one of these creatures? Yourself, I mean.
Of course I have. What kind of question is that? It's a dirty business,
all the time. 2 or 3 tonight.
Have you heard of the Guard of Priwen?
Of course. They're dedicated hunters. A little militant for my taste, but they do let anyone join.
Were you ever tempted to join the Guard yourself?
I like how he doesn't question that I knew about the Guard of Priwen.
Silent hunter. They're more of a sanitary militia.
So you hunt alone? That sounds risky.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow certain patterns. It's just a matter of observation and patience.
This guy's pretty confident in himself. Like, he comes across as a quack, but there's moments like that where he seems like he's actually telling the truth.
Can you help me, Mr. Throgmorton?
The sad saint? He should be at his night asylum at this hour, but I cannot tell you how to find it, sorry.
Really? Why is that?
It's nothing personal, Doctor. I'm sure your intentions are good, but people who sleep there, they have plenty of reasons to hide.
I could make you tell me, but I respect your refusal. You really believe
Yeah,
Sean
he
is a
seems
saint,
he seems
don't you?
earnest after life. He seems like he means what he's saying, even if he is a little bit braggadocious.
He was molested. By a priest of all people. Funny thing is, though, it only strengthened his faith.
Woof. Sean got molested by a priest when he was a child.
Maybe
just a bucket of laughs this game is.
Tell you what, go and chat with Tom Watts. He's a bartender and good judge of character. If he talks to you, then it's fine by me.
All right, thank you for your endorsement. I will go talk to Tom.
And good
He is my oldest friend in this game. Tom, buddy, how are you?
Welcome back, Doctor. What can I do for you?
Nothing new to talk about with you, I can only presume. Yeah. All right. We're here for
Tom,
Sean.
I need to find Sean Hampton as quickly as possible. I've been told you could help me.
I heard the sad saint was recovering at Pembroke Hospital. Did he leave or something?
I believe he returned to his flock. Can you confirm that?
Oh, I bet you're right. Sean can't help but worry about the poor and sick. Oh, I guess it has something to do with what happened to him as a baby.
Please, tell me.
Well, I don't like to gossip, but I heard that the sad saint was abandoned as a baby in front of a Catholic orphanage in Dublin. That would explain his faith and need to help everyone.
All right, so now we know everything about Sean.
The important thing is I find him quickly.
Why not try his night asylum? He takes care of those who need a meal or a roof there.
Where is it?
It's in an old warehouse, northwest of here. Just follow the bank to the west and go north when you reach the end of the pier.
All right, thank you, Tom.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
I appreciate you, buddy. So it's just right across the way, yeah? I think we can just teleport across from dock to dock. Hello. Have we talked to you, Mr. Woodbead? Apparently we talked to you. I don't remember talking to you.
Andrew, what have you done?
Good evening, sir. I'm amazed you made it back.
Oh, this is the guy we saved.
Well, I could say the same about you, young man. More to the point, who the hell are you?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid.
And I am Archer Woodbead. Please excuse my assertiveness. I often forget I'm just an old prune.
Do you
need
any
help?
medical attention?
Because if not, we're going to actually go, bud.
Dog, given the circumstances.
Goodbye, sir.
Then listen, we're going to come back and chat with you later. Because we got work to do. Alright, so. From here, we can do this. And then this takes us right to where we gotta go. Beautiful. I heard something moving in that warehouse and I did not like it. Sean?
Another disgusting ghoul did it, don't you think? I don't think so. The wounds are clean. It's methodical. A freaking vampire, then.
I can't say, but whatever did this carefully avoided the arteries. We've found ourselves a bloody artist.
Alright.
Seems
Boys,
like
I got some stuff to do.
Hampton's trail too.
Yeah, just keep wasting your flamethrower during my immunity frames, bud.
I'll kill you!
Oof.
Burn it, boys! Die, burning!
Oof. No, where's my stamina? Alright. Some quick heals.
Crush the leech, boys!
Alright. Keep it steady. Turning into a half ghoul. Yeah, or a skull, right? Like we've determined that you can become a skull if you get changed and don't have good quality blood. And we know that it was a skull that bit him, so like that would line up that it wasn't good quality blood, right? Oh boy. Nope, don't like any of that fire.
All of you bloody leeches need killing! Crush the leech, boys! I'll send you... Die, vermin!
Thank goodness for the invincibility.
Want some of this?
That guy just hit me with like a straight up ninjutsu combo. He hit me like 6 times. Hey, bud.
Want some of this?
Thank you.
Crush the leech, boys! Die, beast! Die, vermin! All of your bloody leeches need killing. Burn it, boys! Want some of this? Die, vermin! I hear you. Crush the
All
leech,
right.
boys! Die!
Keep it up. Keep healing. Get some blood.
Killing's all you deserve.
Doing okay. Use all of my stamina to dodge a ridiculous flamethrower burst.
Want some of this? Die, vermin! I hate leeches.
Nope, nope. Nope, let me eat him.
Crush the leech, boys! All of your bloody leeches need killing. I'll send you there. Burn it, boys! I'll put an end to you! Die, vermin! Killing's all you deserve.
They do, but I'm trying to keep them at least in a position where I can feed on them.
Crush the leech, boys!
Because I need them to stay alive.
Die, vermin!
Oh, come on. There we go. Ooh, you gave me a shiny new pistola. There we go. All right, look. It wasn't clean. It was a little sloppy, but we got the job done. All right, so where is Sean? He's on the other side of town, so we know he's fled. Well, let's go to him then. I'm coming, Sean. No? Really? Am I not coming, Sean? Some skulls. It looked like... Oh, they could be Prywin guards. No, these are skulls. So hopefully we get there, we can stop Sean from going completely crazy, and he'll give us a number of good handles. Oh, come on with that leap. So that we can upgrade our cudgel again. Did he just like riposte me? Alright, so definitely we're gonna rest after we're done here with Sean, because the enemies have taken a considerable jump upwards.
Just been slaughtered by a vampire. The body's still warm.
Oh, look at this rumble. Grenade? We don't need grenades. Come on, relax.
Burn it, boys! He's dead! Want some of this? Find it right! All of your bloody leeches need killing.
Alright. Alright, bud. Come on, relax. There you go. Got him. Alright. Let's not dawdle too long here on the beach with these randos. We gotta get to Sean. So it's big right-hand turn. Can I do it from up here? Oh, I hear someone screeching over there.
Over there!
Hey, bud. should probably take a minute. Like situations like that one where that guy was singled out, should probably take a minute and eat some solo guys as best we can. Just so that we have some blood. Oh shoot, I finished the combo for whatever's next. All right. Guard of Prywin note. 27th October. From Guard of Prywin Command Post to Dock Patrols. Object: Vampire Hunter, Fraud, Avoid. Some of our scouts recently spotted the presence of a certain Ichabod Throgmorton near the East End docks. You'll probably see him patrolling the place at night, claiming that he's a specialist of vampire extermination. The man is a fraud. Not even a real con man, for he does not charge anybody for the work, but he clearly has no clue what he's talking about. If he ever approaches you for some joined hunt or a collaboration, refuse and let him go. In a leech fight, the man is nothing more than bait. So that taught us that Ichabod is not endorsed by the guard. So hook a left. All right, Night Shelter's vicinity. Sean's got to set up. Wait a minute. Swingborough's medicine. Is this?
I know I promised you I'd make everything right.
Good evening, miss.
Oh, for a minute I thought that was the snake oil salesman.
Good evening, sir. My name is Giselle Paxton, but I don't have time for men like you.
Have we met
Ooh,
before?
that was
No.
pretty cutting.
But I just need to look at your fancy clothes to know that you must be desperate to visit the docks at night.
That's quite judgmental of you.
Sir, I've led enough strikes when I had a job to identify you as an enemy of the working class.
Do you need medical help, Miss Paxton?
No, thank you.
All right, well, if you're healthy, again, I would like to chat,
I'm
but we
looking for
already
Sean
know we know
Hammond.
Sean's clues,
help
so
me?
I would
What is it
like
you want?
to get to
Does he owe
Sean.
you money? Has he displeased your Royal Highness?
Man,
I'm
Giselle,
no
you
snitch, Mr. Fancy Pants.
don't quite know who you're talking to.
Well, I'll leave you for now. Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
So it would appear this is the rest of the missing NPCs that we've been looking for in the docks district. Find Sean. Excuse me.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. Can I help
The
you?
look on her face.
Doctor lurking at night
So
by the
good.
docks. Not fishy at all.
And what about you? Working outside at night in this dangerous part of town.
You want to know my secret? I'm trying to earn money. And I'm Lottie Paxton, by the way.
Do
you need
my
medical assistance?
attention, Miss Paxton?
I'm fine, Dr. Reid. Keep your medicine for those who need it.
Lottie, I like you so much more than Giselle.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me?
Mr. Hampton must be in his office at the night asylum he manages, I suppose. Why do you want to see him?
He was a patient of mine at the Pembroke Hospital, but he left abruptly.
I see. Well, Mr. Hampton is a discreet and dedicated man. I'm sure you'll find him soon enough.
All right, cool.
Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
Appreciate ya. Also, there's just opium and stuff lying around, lady. You could, if you wanted money, you could find it. All right, so let's see. Ooh. Don't mind if I do. Find Sean's office. This is not an office. Is this not actually the... She said in the night asylum he manages, so maybe this isn't even the night asylum. This is just some warehouse. I think there was a sub level here too, like a basement level. Yeah, there's a sub level. Old newspaper. The bomb exploded just after dawn in front of the Dawson & Dawson Munitions Factory, the largest employer in the district. The detonation smashed the windows of all the factories in North Southwark. It's a miracle only 2 people died in the attack, confirmed Chief Superintendent Alexander Brighton.
It's locked.
There's a locked cabinet. I mean, I can't imagine the Night Asylum office is at the bottom with all these turbines. I walked all the way down here for a bottle of alcohol. Man, that adds up. Alright. So if we leave here and poke around a little bit more. I mean, I'll be honest, this looks like the Night Asylum. Like, it doesn't just look like a warehouse because there's people sleeping. Night shelters vicinity. Find Sean in the area.
It's locked, all right. It's locked.
If I just steal enough, maybe Sean will come out. No, it's definitely over here. Did I just walk past it? Is it further around the side? All right. Am I just a crazy person? Tubes! You're right, Misha. I'm pretty sure that he could solve this problem. Wait. Can I go in here?
It's locked,
Oh,
all
of
right.
course not. Oh, I think I found him. Hi, Sean. We're going to talk in a second, bud. I just want to take a look around your place real quick. As your physician, I want to make sure that everything here will help with your condition. Folded paper. Forgive me, God, for what I'm about to confess. Sometimes I wish I never saved Dyson Delaney from drowning when he fell in the canal. There, I said it. Please forgive me, Lord, for I'm just a sinner. Dyson may be the most frustrating case I ever had to deal with since I opened my night shelter in the East End. For years, I have tried to understand why this man regularly makes me so irritated, and I think I recently found why. Dyson has stopped fighting, for good and forever. I've met so many heavy drinkers in my life, men and women, rich and poor, young and old. I've witnessed their fight with their demons, their past, their guilt, and their failures. Sometimes they can put a name on this inner evil of theirs. Sometimes they have never been able to identify the real cause of their despair. But in most cases, for these men and women, to drink is a way to keep fighting. Of course, it is a useless and destructive form of struggle, but at least this self-destruction means that something makes them suffer, and they still fight against this pain they feel so deep inside. Even a severe alcoholic like William Bishop keeps struggling with his addiction and asking for a salvation, for the light of Christ. And as long as they wish to see this light, there is a place for hope. Dyson Delaney has no hope left. He does not drink to smother his pain, no. I am convinced he conscientiously drinks for the sadist joy of smothering all hope. I really don't know what is a worse sin, to deliberately cast away from your own to cast hope away from your own heart, or complacently bask in self-destruction. Yeah, he's the priest guy from the first vampire den we found. So we did finally get another hint on Delaney. We knew that he was an impassioned anarchist, and now we also know that he fell in the canal and Sean rescued him. All right. Some shillings. What else? Some more shillings in the safe. Let me check this big trunk, dog. Hey, all right. All right, so I now guess let's talk to Sean. This doesn't look like a boss encounter. I really kind of figured it would be.
Why the long face?
Oh, buddy. Sean. Sean, you are not looking great, bud. Is that all that worries you? We have both changed a lot. How dare you?
Is it all that worries you, Sean? My long face? Really?
This is a blessing for me to become a Skal. Immortality gives me more time.
Yeah,
and
he is
energy,
looking
if
a
truth be
little
known,
rough.
To run a shelter. What more could I want?
Since you left Pembroke, the amount of blood that has been shed, it's hard to believe you, Sean.
Ask what you will. As the Lord is my shepherd, I will not speak a lie to you.
So he has retained a shocking amount of his mental faculties here. But he doesn't seem to have a qualm with the fact that he killed. Like, you'd think someone as religious as Sean would have a concern over that.
Aren't you afraid of what you've become?
We are blessed, Doctor. Can't you see it? The Lord has made us able to walk amongst the plague and aid those that need it.
Do you think this is a blessing when God's own house and holy symbols repel you?
If that is your burden, Doctor, so be it. But I do not fear the cross, nor am I forced to take the life of another. My kind doesn't share your imperfections.
But you must drink blood now to survive.
No, not your scripture. Whoso eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood hath eternal
Sean.
life. And I will raise him up at the last day. So saith the Lord. I only need to
That's a
eat
stretch,
flesh,
bud.
no blood.
Why return here?
This is my home. These people are my flock. You will always
Yeah, he
find
killed
me
the
where
gossip
I'm
girl. We're
needed.
gonna hit him. That's the big question on the page. I'm saving that as the stinger.
Wonders never cease. Skal managing an asylum.
And what of you? A vampire doctor? Meals laid out before you. Yet you restrain?
I mean, he's got a good point.
And what about William Bishop? He tried to take care of you. But this hunger, this thirst, cannot be restrained.
Alas, poor William. He had a good soul, but was weak in spirit. He could not shake the thirst for booze, never mind blood. But have faith. My will is far stronger than his.
I mean, you're at least a better conversationalist.
Why did you kill Miss Jones at the Pembroke Hospital?
Killed old Harriet? You must be mad, Doctor. Why would I do such a thing?
Wait a minute. So he didn't?
So you claim Miss Jones' death was not by your hand, nor the other incidents at Pembroke?
Though Harriet was an angry, spiteful woman, she was one of God's creatures. I have nothing but love for all he has made.
But you were close to her.
Of course. But she was lost, separated from the fold. She did not see the hand of the divine in my blessed condition.
People have been murdered.
I don't understand. So who else would do it?
I don't believe you can be trusted.
Have a little faith, Doctor. If you will follow, I will guide you to the light.
How do you plan to do that?
Take this key of the old sewers. The entrance is by the riverbank, south from here. There you'll find all the proof you need.
Interesting.
Very well. You have definitely intrigued me. I hope you're right, Sean.
I'll be here when you return. If you still think I'm a threat then, well, I surrender myself to your judgment.
Interesting. All right, well, Sean is definitely not what I expected when we said we were going to hunt him down. So that's a nice little twist that has developed here. Maybe he can be saved. That'd be kind of cool. He's been a pretty redeemable character. So, like, if we don't have to kill him, I don't want to kill him. So, I'm thinking this is probably a good place to call it because it sounds like the sewers are going to be a decent little chunk, and I don't know that that's really something I want to start at midnight. So we'll call it here. I'm enjoying Vampyr. Again, I know I say that there's some stuff that bugs me about it. There are a couple of things that I don't always agree with pacing wise, but I think the story is really fun. I think the characters are interesting. So I'm going to keep going with it. We'll play this on Saturday. But I'll probably, if I'm going to play this through until it's done, I'm going to slide it into that Saturday position. And then next week, maybe on Tuesday, instead of more Vampyr, we'll take like a little one-shot game, something out of the backlog that is not going to take more than a night, and throw it in there and goof around with that. But Vampyr for sure on Saturday. Hopefully we get some answers about our strange new shadow demon benefactor. That'll be pretty interesting to see some more of. And we can hopefully save Sean, because that would be sweet. So if you're in the chat, thanks for dropping by and joining me. I really appreciate it. And hopefully you've been continuing to enjoy Vampyr. Tune in on Saturday and we will go check the sewers. Until then, thanks so much.